Alright everyone, welcome back to Planet Zoo. In this one, I'm not gonna lie to you, I way overshot my time frame. This is the biggest habitat that we've done in the entire series, and I've had the least amount of time to produce this episode. Now, somehow I have managed to get the vast majority of this habitat done at least, but there is some stuff to finish up around the edges, and I might even expand the habitat at a future date. Because as you can probably tell from the title or the thumbnail, it was originally supposed to be a giraffe exhibit, but then I realised the Zoopedia, they actually get bonus enrichment for a ton of animals. There's like 6 different animals they can be housed with, and they'll get benefits from being with those animals. I don't think any of those animals were on the original COVEA species list. Of course, none of them are endangered or anything like that. That's what the list is for. But in a similar light to the hippo and flamingo habitat, I wanted to include it because they have actual benefits to being with each other. So if giraffe was just alone, it would be fine, but it's better to have them with certain other animals. So for this one, I decided to have Sable, Antelope, and common Warthogs, I do believe. But if I do expand the habitat in the future, I'll probably add a couple other animals, maybe ostriches. I feel like they'd be a fun fit, and I know Courtney, you wanted those to be added, you wanted one name after you, so I might add those as well. I might even add some Nyala, plain zebra, black wildebeest, although it'll probably be only one of those 3 because they are all ungulates, and I think the sable antelope is as well. And I don't want all the animals in this habitat to look pretty similar. Obviously, they're very different animals, and to my eyes they are, but for the passive kind of zoo goer, maybe they would look a little bit too similar to all be in one habitat together. I am aware some of you might not know what the term ungulates means. It basically means a large mammal with hooves, so that can range from horses and rhinos to giraffes and hippos, pretty much any large mammal that has a hoof structure. So it is a widespread term, but for the animals that I've just listed, they are all generally quite similar. Of course, the horse and zebra are very, very similar, they just have different patterns, that kind of thing. Anyways, stop ranting about the stuff that we're not doing. Let's talk about the actual habitat we're doing now with your common warthog, sable antelope, and reticulated giraffe. The first thing I did after laying out the null barrier for this habitat was make sure the animals can't actually escape. So this is a lot easier in the plateaus actually. I can kind of just create large cliffs, big drops, that kind of thing that stop the animal from escaping. And with this being such a huge habitat, it took quite a while to get that done, probably about half an hour to 45 minutes, but this has all gone on in the background whilst I've been talking about all that other stuff beforehand. There's a few things about this exhibit that don't work so well, but there's other things that do work really well. For example, giraffes can't walk through some of the plants that disabled antelope or warthogs can walk through. So naturally, the giraffes are forced to stay in the much more open areas of this habitat, whilst the other guys can walk through the underbrush, walk up these little cliffs that you can see me building up here, and stuff like that. So all the animals can mingle, but it creates a sort of natural segregation between them all, which I think really works in favour of this habitat. I mean, in the wild, in a safari or the African savanna, whatever you want to call it, the hippos will probably stay towards the lakes and water, zebras might stay towards the plains, elephants might prefer the kind of dead trees and stuff like that. If it isn't obvious, I'm really not sure what I'm saying, but my point is it's nice that the animals kind of stick to their own individual areas, but can mingle at certain times, because I think that's just simply realistic for what the animal would like to do. But one of those things that doesn't work so well in this habitat is the fact that the animals aren't exactly super happy with the habitats. They're happy enough, which is why I haven't changed any of it. But because they're of course all savanna or kind of more dry deserty type animals, they don't prefer the lush brush that we've got here in the jungle and stuff like that. But I think giving up a little bit of animal welfare is definitely a worthwhile sacrifice to make the habitat look generally just a hell of a lot better than it would be otherwise, with way less plants and stuff like that. Keep in mind, I'm talking about Planet Zoo here. If this was real life, my opinions would be way different. But you can see me now adding all the rapids throughout the rivers like we've done throughout the entire petrified plateaus, and I probably should upgrade this in the Ruby Basin as well, but we've got the mossy rocks all throughout the river at certain sporadic intervals, and then we've got rapids coming off them as if the river is getting whacked around by the rocks. And we've also just jumped over into the second time lapse. This entire thing was recorded in pretty much 2 different sessions, and this is now the second one, so a lot of this is enrichment, finishing up the plant coverage so you guys can see it is going to be a lot more overgrown than it looks right now. I should also mention the fact that I haven't added any ruins in this habitat yet, so this is one of the reasons that I think I'm definitely going to expand the habitat. We really don't have a great place to add ruins. We've got the little section where you can see the helipad at certain points in the background there, and I'm probably going to add some ruins all the way up there, probably just some kind of historic housing or something like that. But the animals in this habitat also don't have any hard shelter. Actually, that's a lie. I think the warthogs do, but that's just because of all the trees. They can chill under those, unlike the giraffes. And of course, with them being giraffes, they're humongous. I can't just give them the cave like I've done with the tigers or the Bornean orangutans. So I've got to figure out a better way of doing that. And the way that I think I'm going to do that is with the temple pieces. I want to make some kind of big monastery chapel type temple that's obviously going to be ruined, but hopefully it will act as some hard shelter that the giraffes or the bigger animals in this habitat can go underneath. But hey, that whole thing is for another day. Now I'm going to get to placing all the plants and stuff like that, bringing the exhibit together. It's easy to look at an exhibit, or habitat, not exhibit, god damn it, Brad. But it's easy to look at a habitat without plants in it and think, wow, this is disgusting. Why should I even complete this? It's not good. But then when you place all the plants down, it really just brings it together, and that's something that I definitely think is a motivation for me. And that's something I've wanted to talk about for a while, actually. In one of the previous streams, I think it was Magma, who was asking how I possibly stay motivated to spend so many hours every week building these habitats for you guys, and the answer, simply put, is that I enjoy it, of course. I love making these videos, watching the outcome, creating this huge project that's going to come together at the end, and I'm going to be really, really proud of it. But for a little bit more applicable advice, if you're doing anything like this, I urge you to try break past that point of procrastination. Trust that once you pick up your project, you'll get into the flow of whatever it is, whether it's playing guitar, building Minecraft, programming a game for your computer class. Just trust in the fact that once you push yourself into working on it, that the outcome will eventually be something that you're really, really proud of. But talking about the streams, if you didn't catch it, we had yet another one last Sunday. They will be happening every Sunday, at least for the time being. Like I've said, they might switch up the dates and stuff like that. But in this previous Sunday stream, we actually finished up the Red Hot Chili Pandas restaurant, which I showed you guys kind of half done at the end of last episode. So I'm going to be showing you that once again at the tour at the end of this one. But we are already at the end of the time lapse for this episode, so I'll see you guys in just a few seconds for the full time tour. What are you? Why should I ask? No. Just nah. Not having that.